Morning all, hope you're well. Very rarely do I just read someone else's post out word for word, but I'm going to make an exception in this because I just think it summarizes the situation in the UK, in Britain, absolutely perfectly. And it's just so articulate and so well written that I think everyone should hear it. So please have a watch of this. And then if you agree with it, please share it, repost it, like it, do whatever you need to do on whatever social media platform you're watching this on. I'm going to read it out. I think it's unarguably true. And then once I finish reading it out, I'll tell you who wrote it and what you think of it. So here we go. In the last week alone in the UK, in just 1 week, we've gone from reading about the 27-year-old mother, Rhiannon White, stabbed in the head 20 times by an illegal migrant from Sudan, to Wayne Broadhurst, stabbed to death by an illegal from Afghanistan while walking his dog, to a small boat illegal migrant stabbing a stranger to death in a bank in Derby, to a migrant from Afghanistan strangling a railway worker over a minor ticket dispute, to a Syrian illegal migrant sexually assaulting a student in Cardiff, to illegal migrants chasing migrant hotel workers with knives because they didn't like the food, to 10 people suffering a mass stabbing on a train at the hands of two black British men for no apparent reason. Why is this happening? Because our so-called leaders have been importing millions of people from highly violent, conflict-ridden, and yes, inferior honour cultures from the third world, where settling grievances through violence is just standard. As the academic Gareth Jones points out in his book, when a nation imports people, it imports the average cultural traits of those people as well. Mass uncontrolled immigration is not just the importing of people, it's the importing of cultures. And the cultures we import are not just radically different and incompatible to our own, but are visibly inferior, primitive, stuck in cultural codes and practices that we moved on from hundreds of years ago. It is, to quote Gad Saad, suicidal empathy. Our leaders thinking they are helping these people when in fact they're just killing their own society and the people from within. None of this can be said in Westminster, where universal liberalism, all cultures are equal, reigns supreme. This is what you saw on Question Time last week when I was widely attacked by a liberal ruling class that cares more about helping people from backward cultures than defending its own people. But its effects can clearly be seen in the extent to which first and second generation migrants here in the UK, who we are told are British, nice boys from Cardiff, turn out to be highly violent criminals continuing the cultural traits from their origin countries. Again, nobody in Westminster wants to think about the point of culture. But just take a look. 2025, the Manchester synagogue terrorist, Syrian parents. 2024, the Southport terrorist, Axel Rudabakana, Rwandan parents. 2021, Liverpool terrorist, born in Iraq. 2021, Sir David Amess terrorist, parents from Somalia. 2020, the Reading terrorist, born in Libya. 2020, the Streatham terrorist, parents from Sri Lanka. 2019, Usman Khan terrorist, parents from Pakistan. 2017, the Manchester MEN terrorist, Libyan parents. 2015, the Leytonstone terrorist, born in Somalia. 2013, Lee Rigby, the Woolwich terrorist, parents Nigerian. 2007, London and Glasgow terrorists, Iraqi and Indian parents. 2005, the homegrown 7/7 terrorists, Shahzad Tanweer, parents from Pakistan, Mohammed Khan, parents from Pakistan, Hasib Hussain, parents from Pakistan, Jermaine Lindsay, born in Jamaica. No other society in the world would tolerate this, would do to its own people what our leaders are doing to us. Can you imagine, say, United Arab Emirates, Japan, China doing this? Of course not, because they are not idiots. They do not tolerate suicidal empathy. Through mass immigration, porous borders, and a total failure to integrate newcomers, our leaders have made us much less safe and put our own people at risk. These migrants do not instantly adopt the host country's British or English culture and identify the moment they sign a few papers. Far from it. They retain central aspects of their origin countries, including religion, belief, attitudes towards violence, hatred of non-believers, attitudes to women, and so on. This is what the rape gang scandal was about. We imported clan-based networks from rural Pakistan that think non-believers are fair game and distrust authority. The vast majority of radical Islamists in Britain were either born abroad or trace their roots back on these islands only one generation, while living in closed social networks filled with other people from their origin countries, which reinforce those different cultures. This is then further enabled by an idiotic ruling class and woke left that pursue virtue and social status for itself by proclaiming platitudes like diversity is a success, whilst also having to use speech codes, far right, racist, and so on to shut down any dissent. Then it uses multiculturalism to encourage minorities to remain distinctive and separate from the majority, even prioritizing them over the majority. It's all completely insane. This is what the UK has now been doing for 30 years under Labour and the Tories, the Uni Party, importing radically different, if not incompatible cultures, which then persist across generations. And today this is being compounded by importing 180,000 unvetted illegal migrants into the country in just 7 years, with another 180,000 forecast to arrive by the time of the next general election if the average trend continues. Just think about that. By the next election, we'll be talking about almost 400,000 unvetted illegal migrants roaming around the country, many from the same highly violent, conflict-prone societies as the ones that have given us all of the chaos listed above. And so in the years ahead, this chaos will only increase. It will only get worse because our leaders refuse to see the reality and refuse to make changes. In short, every terrorist attack, every stabbing, every rape, every sexual assault, every rape gang is a reminder of the fact that our leaders who are supposed to defend us are importing people who hate us and who are and cling to totally different cultures, identities and outlooks, all of which is making our own culture, identity and social cohesion much harder to maintain. We can either keep ignoring the critical importance of culture or we can do something about it. What would doing something about it look like? Radically reshaping our country and its future around people who have deep roots and deep ties to this country, rewarding those who genuinely integrate and removing those who don't, ending the extreme policy of mass uncontrolled immigration, doing whatever is necessary to fix our borders, leave the ECHR, repeal the HRA, detain, deport, end soft on crime policies, launch an all-out assault on radical violent Islamism. We do have a choice. We can do these things, or we can keep killing ourselves from within. For me, that's brilliant. Every single word strikes a chord, every single word strikes true. Who said that? Matt Goodwin, the professor who has become a major public speaker and public figure on the right of politics, an honesty speaker, a truth speaker, gets completely deranged attacks from those on the left, but for me, says it as it is. I'm going to post and copy this. It's already been shared by me on my X profile, but I will try and copy it in as well on every other place I post this. But if you agree with it, please comment on it, please like it, please share it, please repost it.